Do do do
Bum bum
do 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 do
bum bum
do 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 do
bum bum
do 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 do
bum bum.
do do do.
Santa's watching, Santa's creeping. Now you're nodding, now you're sleeping. Were you good for Mom and Dad? Santa knows if you've been bad.
God, we killed it.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is Films Against Humanity. I'm Chase.
I'm Adam.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
And we just watched 1987's classic holiday slasher, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2.
Duh. Really 1.5 though.
Electric.
Yes, that's what we're deciding
Yeah,
to
we're
call
gonna
it.
call it 1.5.
What did you say this movie was about?
Oh, it's great. It's about this guy who dresses up like Santa Claus and kills people.
What?
I'm holding you up, asshole.
Punish.
So Nick, you did a little bit of research before we watched the film.
I did do some research. It didn't take long, but there's a lot of stuff actually there. First of all, this is
Wait, why didn't it take long then?
why didn't it take long?
If there was so much stuff.
Because it was all right there.
I want to dig a little deeper into your research process.
True enough. Like my actual process of it.
Yeah, did you go
So I went to
library?
IMDb and I scrolled down.
Oh.
Then I clicked a link to Rotten Tomatoes and I scrolled down again.
Nice.
Amazing.
And then I went to YouTube and hit 2 links.
Wow.
Oh man.
Amazing.
And I basically got the entire story for at least the first 2 parts of this 5-part series that it's up to now. The 5th one we definitely have to see because Clint Howard is in it.
When did that come out?
1991.
What? How many movies did they... Was it one a
That
year?
they crammed in.
It was like
Well-
one every 2 years.
Well, the first one was
almost.
84, so...
Then
This one was
87,
87.
then
and then
80.
every
Second
year
one
after,
was
probably.
89, 90.
Second one was 87. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night, considered a cult classic, similarly in the vein of Chopping Mall, where it's mostly famous for its sweet poster and awesome tagline.
You've made it through Halloween. Now try and survive Christmas.
This one, not a very famous poster, and its tagline is pretty shitty. You survived Halloween, now survive Christmas again. Which we always know when a sequel puts again in there,
Yeah.
it's going to be great.
Yeah.
They did this one on a fourth of the budget.
Wow.
The first one had $1 million
we know
budget.
why.
This one had $250,000, and we
Wow.
did figure out where most of that went in putting part 1 in part 2. At least the best part of it. Literally,
Yeah.
the first 45 minutes of this film is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, so it kind of starts, and you get to meet Ricky, and he's in a psychiatric ward or something, and he it just starts with him being interviewed by a psychiatrist about his experience, and so the first 45 minutes are him recounting the first movie through the eyes of his brother, I guess, because he wasn't really there for all this stuff, but somehow he knows about all of it.
I was just a baby and Billy was only 7. But he knew all about Santa Claus.
I know, and it just so happens that there's footage of these things that his brother knows about.
Well,
And it almost set in a movie style format.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
it was really interesting.
Yeah, they
And
chronologically told the whole story.
right down. So that's the best reason to see part 2. Even though
if
I think
you
we
wanna
all
skip part 1.
if you want to skip part 1, just see the highlights of it,
Yeah.
then do this, cuz then you get Billy I think we all agree that with the better punchline of punish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, and his
Punish is a
lackadaisical
great one.
punish and then kill someone. To Billy's naughty, but you get both of them.
Well, Naughty makes more sense.
Naughty does make more sense, but punish
There was
just
a lot of
sounds
Christmas
better.
stuff in this movie that it was pretty loosely connected.
Yeah.
He's getting interviewed on Christmas Eve, recounting his brother's story and then his later murder spree. That includes the awesome garbage day
So by
Quote.
part 5 is the budget like 1/8 of the original, but they use all 4 of the previous
just
movies.
each
and
movie
just
just
a
takes
20-minute
up more of the
recap.
second
Wow.
of the
until there's
following
only
one.
30 minutes
That
of
would be
Clint
the way to
Howard as
do
a
it.
robot.
I like that. I
hope
like
so.
that
I
idea.
can't wait to find out.
This part 2 has way more killing
Yeah.
than
And
part
it has
1.
some inventive killing, and that's what I liked about it. I know they shot this movie in 10 days, so it's pretty impressive
Wow.
what they got to pull off. What are some of the best deaths? There's the umbrella death, which is
Umbrella
probably
death.
the coolest.
But the Mother Superior thing, if we can get into that spoiler territory.
Oh, yeah.
I guess he chops her head off and then plops it back on for the old scare when somebody touches her to see if she's okay. Classic.
Yep.
Also, she was mangled already somehow. From
Yeah,
stroke.
So we've assumed that because they say that she has a stroke. She has a stroke between parts 1 and 2, and now she's in a wheelchair. And we guess the people who made this movie don't know what a stroke is.
Yeah.
Because they got like, oh, it messes up half your body or half your face. So they gave her
Turns you into Two-Face.
Man with 2 faces,
Yeah.
just leper one side and then normal the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was
And
the
that
story?
equaled-
Why did they bother giving her a stroke in between? Like, if it didn't do any...
That may play into because it's a different actress playing
Yeah.
Mother Superior.
Yeah.
Which is really ballsy to like cast to because like Mother Superior is in this movie. Like the original one is in this movie, and
see
then
her.
they recast her as Jean Miller, and it's like it's ballsy to take 2 completely different actresses and put them in the same movie and call them the same character.
No,
Like,
it's like different Becky.
And like
Well-
and the makeup like is not. I mean that's not a quick
But
process.
I don't
Like,
think
it looks,
anyone
looks
would
like crap,
notice.
but
Sure
Speaking
I
of
did
like taking out Mother Superior and replacing her with other, they in a scene where that's from part 1 that they show in part 2, they change the actors out
For just
the
one
same
shot.
scene.
Just
Really?
one shot. The nipple's the same in both movies, but
Yeah.
but the shot of their faces, the reaction shot, for some reason they changed it so it's not a ginger kid,
Yeah.
it's a kid with brown hair.
the studio wanted him to basically just recut the first film and re-release it and just try to slip it by everybody and to see if they all just think that it's a different movie. They probably just didn't want to spend any real money, and it's a very easy way to just repackage something, give it a different title, and then just re-release it. I mean, you've already got the
Make
rights to it.
money.
You literally have to do almost nothing and just see how much money you can get out of that.
And the first
See what
one,
that-
I mean, for the budget, I think it was a pretty big hit, mostly because it was so controversial. I know that there was like picketing outside a lot of the theaters by mothers that were angry about having Santa Claus be
No,
a
you're-
killer.
you're right,
And it's
yeah.
mostly from the poster, I believe, that people got so pissed.
Like this one really rode the coattails of the first one's infamy because that one's tag second tag became the movie that they tried to ban. Like come get kids sneak in to come see this movie. This is the movie that no one wants you to see because Santa's killing people.
They have to try and get infamy somehow.
We're lucky that the director and the writers decided to go further than their orders and get Ricky to do more.
Yeah.
And go on his awesome super killing spree. Plus, I love that the way he does his dialogue is droll, ordinary lines, but with a bitter, sarcastic edge.
Going too fast for you, Doc. Red car. Good point.
Yeah, can we just talk about this actor?
Yeah,
So
so
I don't know his
Eric
name.
Freeman is his name. According to the info about it, it said that it came down to him and one other guy, and I think it's in the commentary. If you guys buy the DVD of this, you can hear like
Everyone's going to do that.
Lee Harry, and Joe Earl actually talk about this. But so it came down to him and one other actor, and they said the other actor was better, like overall acting wise,
Better actor.
but they liked this guy's look more, which is like wow.
Poor man's Van Damme.
Yeah.
So even for the commentary, I saw that they tried to get Eric Foreman to come back,
Eric Freeman,
but he had disappeared.
Yeah, they said
Wow.
that he's untraceable, is what they said. They said
I
we
bet
don't know
that's
how
until
to.
until
Wow.
2013 when he showed up for a screening of it. I mean,
It's
This
awesome.
is the only thing he ever did.
basically.
Wow.
Yeah, no, his final thing. Oh wait, no, that
no,
was
he
Billy.
did-
That
it's
was
hard to
Billy.
imagine.
Though.
He
Billy
did a couple
and
other
Jake and the Fat
small
Man.
roles.
I mean, if this is what you're going off, I don't think a lot of people would hire him again.
Well, everyone knows him and knows the Garbage Day scene. I mean, that's the big meme
yeah, this
from
is another
this movie.
one.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
that has a few really funny moments that people may have seen online.
Yeah.
And that's because they are definitely the highlight.
Yeah.
His cheese is like what makes this movie. I think there's no denying that like that dude, as shitty of an actor as he is making this film like
It's
single-handedly.
Yeah.
Like his lines and his eyebrows, which we can talk about
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. But his horrible acting style, just like, you know,
I
you
wish
just
there'd
keep
been
wanting to watch
more
it.
of him and less like flashbacks
Well-
and and the actor who's playing him is a 15-year-old who is actually older than him in reality.
Yeah, the guy who plays young 15 Ricky
15-year-old young.
looks
Like he's in his 20s.
just the
at
same
least.
age
Looks
and
the
is
same age,
actually
just different
Yeah, it's actually
haircut.
3 years older
yeah,
than
3
him.
years older than him. So
Very bizarre.
they did not do that very well.
And that both Billy and Ricky start their sprees off by saving a woman from being raped, and then Billy goes on and kills her because she freaks out on him, and Ricky
Yeah.
Spooks him. It seems
Ricky
like
just goes off.
a lot of times they try and do some sort of very clumsy anti-hero, I guess, element in some of these cheesy horror movies.
Yeah, it's really strange this series that the protagonist is the killer, but he's not. You know, you don't really feel for him.
Are you supposed
so-
to like him? You know?
Yeah,
Is it
you
just-
don't really root
Yeah.
for him, right? I mean,
He's really just he's just a spree killer. Like
Yeah.
he just starts, something snaps him, and he just goes.
Yeah.
This one
Carnage ensues.
is a little weird because probably the garbage day scene I thought was like the most interesting part, where he just goes on a weird spree and shoots some folks after snapping, but it's not really Christmas themed. And it's kind of like, if you looked at it from a objective point without his bad performing,
Oh yeah.
it's pretty depressing. It's like not very fun. It's just like a sad shooting in a suburban neighborhood, you know?
yeah. And the second, whenever all the people he shoots after the cop, it's just unmotivated. He's just
Yeah.
killing
Yeah.
people for
Just
no
snap.
reason.
I mean,
Like,
when
if
you're-
Billy at least had a reason of they were having sex or they were doing drugs or whatever,
Yeah.
they were being naughty. Whereas
Yeah.
Ricky just
Yeah.
it's garbage day.
Well,
yeah.
well, when he's killing a man with an umbrella, it's campy fun. But yeah, when you're just shooting a guy because you've lost
He's
your
just
mind,
'cause you
standing
just-
and
there.
your
because he's standing
girlfriend
there.
had sex once
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that they went with this guy, because anyone who brought
Yeah.
some reality to the role
Definitely.
would
Yeah,
have,
that's the whole
it would
thing
have been
is
very dark.
And I think Billy, and I think that might be also what kind of puts this on another level versus the first one, is because Billy, I'm not saying that he's a good actor at all by any means, but he's a little more convincing, you know, like when you watch Billy, like, I don't know, you feel for him a little more as like a character, but Ricky is just fucking retarded. And so, and he's like a frat boy that's just like,
I'm sorry,
really
which,
slow.
Which is which?
Yeah.
Which one is Billy?
from the first
Billy is the
movie.
brother
Okay,
from the
Billy.
first movie. Yeah.
I was not clear.
Yeah, he's the first Santa killer. So this guy just like really brings the cheese. And yeah, if you had any kind of real element to it, like to really feel for this guy, it would have been really depressing.
Be dark.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing they didn't do that then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
strangely constructed
This
movie.
shitty like Eric Freeman, thank you, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm really glad they cast him because it wouldn't have been the same movie without him.
All right, can we talk about my favorite scene, the very meta scene at the movie theater?
Yes.
Where,
Whoa, yeah.
man.
where
It's
similar
incredible.
to
So
maybe
fucking
Halloween
awesome.
3, where on the TV is the original Halloween, the movie theater that they're at, the shitty 8-seat movie theater that is doesn't look like
It's
a
a
theater.
little personal screening office.
Or what?
Yeah,
exactly.
Chris's
It was the production
theory
office.
might actually be right that it was the
I'm,
room that they
I'm
filmed
positive
the.
it's the same room that was the interview
Well,
room.
they shot it in 10 days, so they had to do that a
Yeah.
lot. I'll bet
Yeah.
a lot of the
Just bring a
interiors
bunch
are
of seats
exactly
in,
the
yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Then there's so much
walls.
in that scene anyway. But you
Yeah.
love the
I
So
love
much
the
going on.
meta part, that the fact that they're watching the original movie after
opening scene.
after you had already seen
Well,
those
yeah.
scenes in the original
a movie that you've seen in this movie. I don't.
Yeah.
And then, like Gremlins 2, there's a commentator, the guy in the back row, that's
heckler.
heckler that's talking shit about the first movie. You know, saying, "Oh, this is unbelievable. Well, who fucked this movie?" And that's just crazy.
Yeah. It was well. I don't know if it was well done or not. I mean, I like to think it is. And now watching it, I am very happy that they went with the actual opening scene from the first movie as the movie that they're watching. It's really cool. But I mean, just because
It very well may be just that they.
But,
had
like, they didn't
paid
have the
for
money,
that movie
yeah.
or whatever, so
Just
it was
keep
all.
But
using
they
it.
didn't. But they didn't even have to show any movie at all. But then again, it's the movie about the Santa killer that triggers him just to go over
Yeah.
and kill those guys. So like, it's
which
like,
no one pays attention to.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
also great super shitty movie tropes where stuff happens that doesn't get reactions of any kind, or that would happen.
No repercussions.
Yeah.
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 Because the
Murder
troll,
after murder.
the heckler guy, he goes over and kills him.
Assumingly.
Well, he beats him. You
Popcorn
see his,
flies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see popcorn fly up and his legs fly up.
Kills him
and-
in a Looney Tunes smoke.
But everyone around there just okay.
Yeah, in the
doesn't
most
really care.
well-lit movie theater ever.
Yeah.
And
Also,
no one notices.
when he goes to kill him, the guy's buddy that he's sitting with just disappears. He just takes.
I think your theory, he sat in his lap.
he sat. Yeah, I
was
like that he
probably
sat in
true.
his lap.
He's a little bit taller than him,
And that
yeah.
guy just kind of
And
rolled
then
with
that
it.
guy went away.
It was fun camera work though, right
and
there. They're like
you get
setting
to,
it up.
and then you get to meet Chip.
Yeah, Chip is great.
Chip is a great character too. Yeah.
He's
The
he's
stereotypical 80s blonde frat.
like
douche,
even
yeah.
more than
Douche.
Billy Zabka. Like it's like they just essenced Billy Zabka down into just this little like vial and poured it out, and then this guy popped up with everything that you need to be an 80s prep douchebag with his pop collar and his shades. And he goes up to Ricky's girlfriend. He's like, "Hey, babe, what's up? I thought you were gonna call me. I know you had a rockin' time last time with me." It's like, holy shit, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
And then he gets shocked to death.
Yeah,
Good
very
death. That was
cool.
probably
With
my
the
favorite.
battery. Yeah. That was a hell of a death. It was
His
really
eyeballs
good.
explode.
It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. This movie had such lazy screenwriting that every character shows up in one scene and then the next scene they die. Like, he was the only character who carried through the entire
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Even though they had, like, another previous movie. I guess you could count the Mother Superior, kind of.
Yeah, same character.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see much of her till the end.
I initially was super excited about this because of part one. And then as the retelling of part one was going on, I kept getting more and more pissed off and frustrated and fuck this movie. But then in the last 20, 30 minutes when it's Ricky's turn, that turned it completely around. And I was like, you needed that. You need that push through. No, this is fucking stupid. I don't need to see Ricky do anything. He sucks at acting. I don't need to see this shit. And then you stick through it and it's totally worth it.
I was pretty underwhelmed, to be honest. This was probably the least interesting movie that we've watched for me. I don't know, like, it didn't really go for the Christmas thing in much of a way. I mean, he wore a Santa suit at the end. There were some good kills. It seems like all the fun stuff is the kind of beyond the fourth wall production things that are interesting, like, why did they include the first movie a few times throughout, what's the deal with this actor? The finished product itself, How about you, Chase?
All right. Well, I really liked this movie. I think
Good.
I think the clips that they did show from the first movie was good. It cuts that movie in half about, which is good because that movie seems really long and boring. So they took a highlight reel of that, which is cool. You get to see Billy as a child punch Santa in the face, which is a great shot.
Great left
You get to
hook.
see
Shithead.
you get to see Linnea Quigley. You get to see her not only naked, but you get to see her mounted, literally, on a deer rack.
Mountain?
Mounted. She
Check
gets
out the
mounted.
rack on that rack.
So that was great. Ricky himself, his eyebrow acting is excellent. I think it was 136 times that he raises his eyebrows.
Yeah, they said 130.
Well, some of the lines are great. It sound like a squirrel getting his nut squeezed. It's a good one.
That's a great line.
And that's it. So it's a lot of fun.
How about
Yeah.
you, Adam?
I liked it on the whole as well. I would recommend watching it. I don't think you need to watch this and the first one, honestly. Like, I mean, you can watch the first
Yeah.
one if you want to, but you're gonna get whatever you wanted to get out of the first one. You're gonna get that in this movie. When half the time it's really efficient in that way. It's like, I mean, they did it because they didn't have enough footage. Like, once they had finished their 10-day production, they only had like a 40-minute cut of footage, and so they were like, well, throw the other one in there and let's start adding some flashbacks with it. And I mean, Yeah, you get 2 movies in one,
Yeah.
and Ricky's great. Eric Freeman carries the story in the worst way. Like, I mean, he did an awful job, but thank God he did, because we can now appreciate it and laugh at it. Yeah, I'd recommend seeing it. It's pretty entertaining.
All right, I guess that's it. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Merry Christmas. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Films Against, on Facebook, Films Against Humanity, our website, www.filmsagainsthumanity.com.
If you go there, you can look for some of Chase's personal collection of bad stuff that he'll sell to you at a really great price.
I just created a new thrift store score page, and it shows some of the cool and shitty pop culture VHS things that I've collected over the last few years. And I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Me too.
We all are. It's an in-depth look at Chase's life.
Yeah.
We couldn't be more thrilled about
Dirty
it.
clothes and stuff. Some nice shirts.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, everybody.
See you in the new year.
Now you're nodding, now you're sleeping. Were you good for Mom and Dad? Santa knows if you've been bad. There might be a treat for you in Santa's bag of toys. But Christmas won't be fun and games for naughty girls and boys. Santa's watching, Santa's waiting, everybody's celebrating.